when Wyatt is getting involved in the game at the bar. He says, Wyatt Earp, I heard of you. And Ike Clanton, who had also heard of him, he says, listen, can't law don't go around here, you savvy. And Wyatt Earp, he doesn't want to get involved. He is retired, so he tells him pretty clearly, I'm retired. And Curly's, as you can see, it says, yeah, good. Then Ike Clanton chimes in again, chirping, I guess, as the kids would say. He says, yeah, I heard you the first time. He's trying to play this off and just play the game. And he says, winner, $500. So, Curly Bill had just won. And then Curly he's always joking. It's not always a joke, but Powers Booth, most of his lines are pretty funny, or meant to be. He says, "Shut up, Ike. I'm winning. I just won $500, man. Shut your mouth." Ringo just says, steps in here and says, "Oh, you must be Doc Holliday." And now this is also something I say all the time. It's really weird. He goes, "That's the rumor." And this if you've seen the movie. He says, "You retired too?" It's not me. I'm in my prime. And Johnny Ringo says, "Yeah, you look it." So because he's got Doc Holliday has tuberculosis, for which there was no cure back then. So Doc Holliday says, "Yo, you must be Johnny Ringo. Look, darling, Johnny Ringo." He's talking to his girlfriend. "The deadliest pistolier since Wild Bill," they say. "What do you think, darling? Should I hate him?" And Kate, played by Joanna Pacula, says, "You don't even know him." Doc says, "Yes, but there's just something about him. Something around the eyes. I don't know. Reminds me of me. No, I'm sure of it. I hate him." So Wyatt Earp says to Ringo, he's referring to Doc, and he says, "Hey, he's drunk." And this is where Doc comes in with the Latin. He says, in vino veritas. In wine, it's truth. So what he was saying is that he does hate him. It is the truth because he's exactly like him. And then this is the part that I like, and this is part of the reason I'm doing this. Johnny Ringo says, "J quod aegis," I think he says. So now they are having the repartee in Latin. Credatu J appella non ego, and he tells him this: "I don't believe drinking's what I do best," because he had just told him, "Do what you do best." So what he's saying is, when he says this, he pats his gun, or Johnny Ringo does. Aventis stultorum magisters. His events are the teachers of fools, meaning let's get it on. Because Doc just said, "I shoot way more than I drink, or way better than I drink." And then Doc says, "In pace requiescat," rest in peace. It's your funeral. Now I don't say it in Latin, but I say that to this day too. And then the marshal comes in, Fred, who, if you saw the movie, he's doomed. He says, "Come on, boys, we don't want any trouble in here, not in any language," which is pretty funny. Doc says, "Evidently, Mr. Ringo's an educated man. Now I really hate him." Because if Doc Holliday was a dentist, and dentists back then, maybe especially back then, you had to be had to have a lot of education. But I heard from speaking of trivia, maybe they did that to match up the characters, that Johnny Ringo was not an educated man, because it would have seemed like Doc was maybe not punching down, but at least rhetorically.